Hello, hello. Lovely
Hello.
people out there, and hello, Zanetta.
Hello, Stefania. Welcome to Fun Fresh Friday, live with Zanetta
Yes.
and Stefania.
I do my little thing.
Jazz fingers, jazz
That's it as
fingers.
an intro. How are you, Zanetta?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. How about
Yeah.
you?
You're looking wonderful, by the way.
Thank
Looking
you.
very fresh and summery. I can tell the warmer weather has
Yes.
hit you guys.
Yes, it has, but it comes with thunderstorms and rain and things like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? That's interesting. Is
Yes.
that normal for having thunderstorms?
I think it's because it's so hot and then the humidity of it and then it just pours down raining.
Mm, okay.
Yeah. So,
Well, we're a little fresh and cool here in south of Australia, Melbourne. It's definitely winter. We've had some nice sunny days, but it's really crisp cold. You know those when you go
ah,
out walking and you speak and all this steam comes out of your mouth.
nice.
Yeah, it's cold. It's cold. But today we
hmm
have a very interesting topic that we are going to talk about, right?
Yes, we do.
Yes. Something you have been really looking forward to, I believe, Zanetta.
Yes, yes, I have. I've
And
been wanting to tackle this for a long time.
right, right. Well, yeah. For those of you that have just popped in and not sure, but we are going to give tribute to the late Kevin Samuels, who probably a lot of people, particularly in Australia, might not really know who he is. I know in America, pretty much, a large population know who he is. And
Hey, Teton, thank you for joining. Yeah, I know. Why?
why?
Starts a conversation. That's why.
Right. And,
Yeah.
I think it'll be a good conversation for everyone to really join in because,
Yeah.
as you know, it's all open to everybody. You know,
Yeah.
there's no comment which is right or wrong. It's just sharing your opinion on this platform here on Fun
Yes.
Fresh Fridays. So, the late Kevin Samuels, who is he?
Hmm.
Who is he? Well, just a quick rundown. And, why is he so important now?
Mm.
He passed away, unfortunately, early May, the 5th of May. But Kevin Samuels was a YouTuber. He was a star known for his controversial videos on relationships and lifestyle advice. And he was very, you know, forthcoming, very open, very out there. And he did really kind of stir a lot, rock the boat in many
Mm-hmm.
ways. And
Yes, he did.
women and men both either loved him or hated him. And today we're just going to, be sharing your thoughts, our thoughts, everybody's thoughts, because everyone's talked about it. So far, I think he's been on pretty much a lot of media, or I'm not sure they're in the US. You, I guess, have more track of it, Zanetta. But
Mm-hmm.
I heard through someone in the States. But yeah, Kevin Samuel's death was very sudden. Um, and
On
we'll share a
Cinco
bit
de
later.
Mayo.
What's that?
I'm sorry. On Cinco de Mayo.
On Cinco de Mayo.
Yes,
Okay.
it's a festival.
Oh, really? Is that? I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. Cinco de Mayo.
Mhm.
It's it's a yeah. Okay, let me just hush for right now.
All right. I know you're bursting at the seams,
Yes,
but
I
just
am.
burst, Zanetta, burst. Do your thing. Don't worry. So
Oh, you want me to
he
burst now?
okay. All right, just let me
No.
finish his why he
Yes.
was loved and hated. So he captured the attention of millions, okay, because of his controversial takes, particularly downgrading um, black women, okay? And Kevin Samuels would say things like really outrageous things to women, and he'd have them on his show pretty much, yeah, downgrading them. That's the only way I can really put it. For example, he would remark things like, single women over 35 were considered to be leftover
Left.
ladies. That's right. He would he would pretty much say to all these women, and he would say, if you survive to 35 and you're not married, you're a leftover. You're a straggler, he would say, So that really kind of, was frowned upon by a lot of women, obviously. And and some women really took it like gospel and followed everything he said, whereas others would really stand up to him. But today, as I said, we're going to be diving a little deeper in some of the conversations, our thoughts. Was he right? Was he wrong? Was his criticism good? Was it just a way of his marketing tool? You don't know. But that's what we are going to be sharing today here on Fun Fresh Fridays. So feel free to comment, ladies and gentlemen out there.
Yeah, so Teton said, thank you for the invite. I love what you ladies are doing. Great conversation.
Thank you.
So, I want to know what your take is with Kevin Samuel.
Oh, no. I and you're bursting at the seams, and no. I will just flow with you, put my bid in, but I think you have a lot to say. In fact, you introduced me to Kevin Samuels.
I did.
Remember? I did not know of Kevin Samuels, and you were like pretty fired up back then. It was probably about a year ago, a little bit, a year, maybe two. I don't know.
Yes.
But anyway, you did introduce me to him, and I would listen into his videos, and his they weren't even interviews. They were just like commanding orders or downgrading statements to women. And what really surprised me was how these women would just take it in and pretty much nod their heads. It was kind of, I would say, hypnotic in a very negative way in some ways, because he would really like draw these women in. But yeah, he definitely did capture my attention with a lot of the things he said. But Zanetta, please do tell, please do share.
Okay, well, I didn't hear anything about Kevin Samuels until my son.
Oh, your son
mentioned mentioned him. When my son and I talk, we talk about a lot of things: relationships, job, Bible, beliefs. So we talk minimum 6 hours.
At a time.
Minimum 6 hours. So he mentioned Kevin Samuels, and I was like, who is Kevin Samuels? And he was like, yeah, you got to listen to him, Mom. So
like you said to me.
Yes. So since he's gotten my son's attention, now I need to, give a look or, try it out. And it was mind-blowing. Number one, it was mind-blowing. The things that he said. Were some of the things that he was saying correct? I mean, my jury is still out. Whether they're correct or not, because when you put somebody down, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know their story. You don't know their past. You don't know what kind of terror of a relationship they had before. You don't.
Absolutely.
And for the video that I watch is your average at best. So here in the US, the grade point average, the best is 4. But in the Philippines, and this is what I found out, that the best grade point average is a 1. Here in the US, it's the worst. So in the Philippines, when I came here to the United States and they said, "Oh, what's your grade point average?" "Oh, it's a 1." They were like, "What? You failed?" No. So average or whatever it is, it depends on somebody's taste. That's average, you know. But that doesn't mean it's gospel. It does not mean that this is the criteria. So I took his criteria as a person who's average at best, the shape of a woman, her height, her weight, her job, and the money that she makes. So I did the survey and I surveyed a lot of men. And some of those men, I want to thank you for indulging in my little experiment. Majority of the men said, "I don't want to rate you." Majority. They said, "Zanetta, that has no bearing. Your size, your weight, your height. I don't see you that way. I don't judge you that way." So it makes me wonder, who are these men judging these women in the gospel of Kevin Samuel? God rest his soul. You know, yeah, I don't want to upset people, but that's shallow. That is shallow. His take on women and how they should look and how they should be is shallow. That I am going to be outspoken about this because I used to weigh over 200 pounds. And I was ridiculed because of the weight that I gained. And what people don't ask is, what's going on? What's happening? They don't ask that. All they say is, "Oh my God, you gained weight." They would say, "Oh, the relationship that I was in would say, 'Oh my gosh, your dimple has filled in.'" How degrading is that?
Oh God.
Right.
That is
Right. So for yes. Yes. Rest in power. Yeah. So he did start a conversation. That is one good thing that I could say about Kevin Samuels is he started a conversation. He started a frenzy with women, not just Black women, but women, all over. I'm a woman of color. I'm not a Black woman, I'm not an African American woman, but I consider myself as a woman of color. And to talk about women of color like that, it pains me. It pains me to see my other sisters being degraded. So
absolutely. Because we're all one. That's the thing. We're just
yeah,
different shades, but we're just all one. We're all
yeah.
connected. That's the thing. Yeah, he definitely did say a lot of shallow things, but on the flip side, right?
Is
On the
there a
flip
flip side?
on
Go
on
ahead.
the flip side, just for a moment, step out of what we're speaking here, right? And let's step into Kevin Samuel existence, his body, his brain, his whatever.
Mm,
Imagine what hurt, pain, anger, resentment he must have really endured or still was enduring, because to me, I'm looking at it that this man is really hurting. For him to be lashing out the way that he was, he obviously didn't have rosy rosy relationships with women.
yeah.
And who knows what relationship he even had in the beginning of his life with his mother or whoever was his caretaker. Might have been his grandmother or an auntie. We don't know. We'd have to, I guess, do some research. But this poor man knew no other way because of his own hurt to be stepping out and hurting. I'm not saying this gives him the right, okay? Please, this is not giving him any, room for or permission to do what he did and say what he said. But if we can look at it from that perspective too, he must have really, not had a very happy life, even with himself, like his own self love and respect. Because I heard even a lot of men commenting on, the stuff that he was saying. It was saying it's wrong. It's just wrong. But yet on the other side, we had other men that were just like celebrating him, really celebrating him like a god.
Yeah. I mean, there are some that I saw that, thanks to Kevin Samuels, I found my high value woman. I found my high value man. So, okay, that means a conversation took place. Uh, okay, wow. We're having a hi, Ray Vaughn. But you don't bleed onto others. Yeah, he was an adult man with a platform which he chose to use to break his own down rather than build and empower. Who that
Exactly.
is a drop the mic moment, Rayvon.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Um, I I was hey Rayvon. So it pains me. I mean, I couldn't listen to it. I listened to I think about 2 or 3 of his episodes. I even stayed up one night, one of the 3 that I've watched. I stayed up one night on his live just to see how he does his live.
Mm,
And he goes live at 11 p.m.
mm.
And I'm already in bed by then. But I just wanted to see. Y- you know, um, I was trying to find something, trying, and I couldn't. You know how when you try to find fault with someone, you'll find it. And when you try to find, always try to find good. Always try to find good. I, I, I couldn't. And that's my cue or my answer to, you know what? I'm not going to subscribe to you. Not going to do it. You know, because when I see those women talking to him and him talking back and calling them Bertha,
Calling them,
calling them Big Shirley, you know, th- that just, I mean, it got under my skin. He
mm.
got under my skin. Yeah, he did. A lot of men don't usually get under my skin. I just like, but he just knew how to do it. He knew how to do it.
Yeah, I was just going to say that too. The broken women.
Yeah, he could have given those obviously broken women answers. Instead, he deliberately berated and publicly humiliated them. Yes, yeah. And that's the sad part of it. And going back to what you were saying, what was his, looking through his eyes, looking through his hurt, um, why did he pick on those type of women?
Exactly.
Was it
Why?
because that type of woman hurt him? Did he fall in love with that average at best woman that he talks about and berates, that hurt him? And so now he's going to lash out on all women that's so called average at best. So I don't know what he means by the modern woman or what he means by high value man or high value woman. Here's where my thought when he talks about modern women and why they're mad. He doesn't understand why modern women are mad.
Mhm.
Let's go back in history. Let's just
No.
go back in history.
Yeah. How far back, Zanetta? How far back are we going?
We're not going to go that far back. Okay? Let's go back to 2012
Mm-hmm.
when the first Black woman became the first lady of the United States. She, my friend, everyone who is a fan of Kevin Samuels, is a modern day woman. So these are women that break the ceiling. These are modern women. These are the women that breaks the mold and paves the way for other women. And he berates them? I'm sorry. I'm getting a little bit caught up with that.
And who
Yeah.
says that a woman at 35 has to be married or has to be, in a relationship, having children or whatever? Who says that? Really? Is that his law?
I don't know where his mind would have been. I would have loved to sit down and have a conversation with him. What is it about a woman, the age 35? What is it about the age 35 that if a
Correct.
woman is not married, that she's a leftover?
Well, he actually upped it a little bit because, say, looking at the 60 years ago, it was like 22, 23, 21 maybe. If a woman wasn't married at that age, she was a leftover.
Mm-hmm.
If we go back in time and go back into our parents' generation.
That lets you know that his theory is flawed.
Absolutely.
That what he says is in his own. Is it a ploy? Is it
yeah. Because I think. Do you want to hear what I think?
Go ahead.
But do you want to just see what Ray?
Yeah, Ray Vaughn. Yes.
Ray Vaughn had just mentioned. So before I continue.
Only an already broken woman calls a man who hasn't shown one healthy relationship with a woman, be it mother, daughter, wife, for advice on how to better themselves. He was a virtual predator. Wow. Whoa. That was.
And I think, just going off what Ray Vaughn is saying, that he had a clear break with one of his videos that he did, remember? And it went viral. That one particular one. That's the one that you told me about, and it went literally
average
viral.
At best.
Because really, he started off being a lifestyle consultant. He called himself a lifestyle consultant. So he was helping men improve their life, whether it through dress code, eating, colognes. It was all very physical, based. But that's how he started. So then when he had that clean break with that one video that went viral, which that's where he started, a little bit of his controversial talk, it went viral. So could it be that he just invested in what? This is great. This is giving me results. This is giving me followers. He got followers up in the millions. He was getting engagement. So he just piggybacked on it and just took it even further. Could it be that? We don't know. You don't know how someone may think. And just maybe that just opened up Pandora's box as to what he was really feeling inside and gave him even more of an opportunity. Again, I'm not saying that this is right or it's wrong, but his motives to have, because he really came, huge in the last couple of years. He's been doing this for ages. He's actually an engineer. He's
Yes.
yeah, so he's a very educated man. He's not a
Yeah.
stupid man. He,
No, he's
you
not.
know,
His first coaching was for men. He was coaching men, and
exactly.
he wasn't getting the results because he was getting a little frustrated with how the men weren't really paying attention to his coaching until uh, he realized that there was more women coming to him, and so that's the shift going to the women. And yeah, I
And
don't
drawing in the
eat.
men at the same time, drawing
Yeah,
in some of a lot of those
yeah,
men that he was missing out on before because of
yeah,
his critical talk. I mean, you know, um, misery attracts misery, right? So people that are miserable and
right,
stuck in that that kind of mindset is only going to draw more of those people in. So
yeah. Well, if you take a look at any kind of topics, even with racism, you will find someone um, who is a racist, and they will join you. Yeah, I mean, if you're spewing racism, and someone who is also a racist will come and join you. So
yeah,
that's you'll always find someone to go on the bandwagon, whether it's calling women Big Shirley, average at best. Um, you know what's the other one, leftover. He has a whole bunch of them, but those are already worse already. I mean, just we don't need to go on. But you'll find a whole bunch of them will say that too. uh, is it yeah, it's sad. It's sad that yeah, I'm going to read Rayvon's comment here. He stood on the shoulders of the very woman, his mother, who played a role in making him a high profile man that he claimed to be, and abused women. Mm, I wouldn't go as far as saying abused women. Did he put them down? Yeah, he did. But on the same note, those women went on the show. They voluntarily went on the show. Could they have just clicked leave? Yeah, they could have. They could have just clicked leave, but they didn't. They continue on. So sometimes the women just have to stand up for themselves. And if he's continuing to make all those comments, time to get
well,
off
that's
camera.
the other thing. Yeah, that's the other thing I was going to say. Well, why were these women hanging around and listening to him and eagerly wanting to get on his show to be bashed, verbally bashed like
I
that?
don't think I don't think they were eagerly to be verbally bashed. I think they were eager to prove him wrong. They were
Oh,
eager to
I
prove
heard
him
some
wrong.
video. I saw some videos, Zanetta, where women were like, he was like verbally bashing them, and they were
Oh,
like nodding their heads as if to say, "Oh, okay, okay, I understand. You're right. I am a leftover. Or I've got to do something about this." Because he would go on about their shape, their size, what they were eating, like really just coming down hard on them.
okay.
So
So
why were they hanging around to listen to that? If you were spoken to like that, would you hang around?
no,
It's simple. So how
no,
broken were these women as well that they had to also, stay engaged and
yeah,
listen? That's the
yeah.
sad thing as well.
Well, the thing is, okay, here, and I can't, I can't be, negative with Kevin Samuels all throughout the show for an hour. Um,
We're not being negative. We're just bringing up,
yeah,
situation.
it's so no me. I'm talking about me being negative
Oh,
to him. Um, Is he correct when he says, okay, if your BMI, if your body mass index is over your height, well then yeah, you need to lose weight. So according to whatever, um, the health chart. But there are certain things that that needs to come into play. Is it medical? Is it psychological? Is it trauma? Is it so you have to dig in deep first to find out, well, what is the issue? Why is a BMI index? Why is it so? So yeah, I would say, yep. You know what? I do need to lose weight, but you're not gonna bash me about it. You're not gonna call me Big Shirley because I'm not Big Shirley.
And
You
even
know,
if I might like being Big Shirley, what's wrong with that? A lot of women like
right,
being Big Shirleys. I mean,
right.
and Big Shirleys have a lot of sex appeal, a lot of like,
Yes, they
whoa,
do. Let me
vitality.
tell you about a confidence woman. I'm like, I wish I had that confidence.
Exactly.
They have some
Exactly.
confidence. They have, I mean, I would love to have an ounce of their confidence.
Right. So has it got to do with size? No, it's got
No,
nothing to do with size.
no,
It's
no,
got
it
nothing to
doesn't.
do with size.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with size.
Even, had some really beautiful, like, short women, because he was talking about, sizes in height and everything. And, you have some really beautiful, strong, sensual, sexy, dynamic women that don't fit that range of
Right.
physicality that he was talking about, but are dynamic and are just out there doing their thing wonderfully and
Mm-hmm.
magically. So yeah, he had a theory all of his own, I think. And I think as individuals, we have to assess who we are. We have to say, we're comfortable in this body. We're comfortable with, I'm comfortable with who I am. I'm
Mm-hmm.
comfortable being big, with a big booty, with big, I'll tell you a story. This is where I became comfortable with my size because I'm tall. I think I told you I'm like
Yeah.
up there, 6 foot. And I mean, I'm slimmer than I was back then, but say, I think, yeah, when I lived in the Caribbean, when I first went out and decided to live in the Caribbean, I was probably about 77 kilos, which I don't know how much that is in pounds, but 77
Let's find
kilos,
out.
I was, okay. I was like 77, 78, and I was big, very, curvaceous. I'm still curvaceous, but, big booty, big breasts, just big arms. And I just didn't like my body. I just thought I was huge, very,
Oh,
very big,
girl, uh, you still
just in the
thin.
range. No, I'm over the range. I'm over the range. But anyway, I felt really big because also a lot of my girlfriends here in Australia were smaller, petite, and everything like that. So, of course, back then I was comparing and not comfortable in my own body. So, when I went to live in the Caribbean, let me tell
Mhm.
you, and the women there were like, compared to me, I was tiny. I was tiny compared to them because they were like beautiful black women, round, voluptuous, big booties, big breasts. And like I felt mini, mini. I felt somewhat good compared to these women, right? But then I saw the way they moved, the way they strut their thing, and they just, it was like, excuse the
Yeah.
expression, but they were just God given gifts to earth, to men. And I said, look at these women. It's not about size, it's that confidence. It's just the way they love their bodies.
Yeah.
And they didn't need a man to tell them how beautiful they were. They just, loved up on themselves.
Yeah.
And it was then that it actually helped me really accept. my 77 kilos, which were, how many in pounds did you say? What was the ratio?
170 pounds.
170 pounds. Okay. And I thought, yeah, I mean, I look good. So I just started embodying that confidence as well, but just simply because they were mirroring it back to me, and yeah, I mean, obviously, over the years I've come down. I'm down to about 69, 70. I fluctuate, but I'm still not a small woman. I'm still quite out there. I will never be thin. I will never be, that linear. And that's okay. I love that about me. But, I used to have back then, even my brother back then say, gee, your arms are big. He goes, they're even bigger than my arms. Like, that used to hurt, for a woman, that would really hurt. So, yes, it's got nothing to do with size, because you can have size and just still ooze with confidence, sensuality, sexuality, and just be that beautiful, vibrant, dynamic woman. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think you hit it, when you said that you need to be comfortable with you first. Because if you're comfortable with you, no comment, no berating, no abusive words, it won't phase you none. So as long as you're comfortable with you, accepting yourself, loving yourself, knowing who you really are, and being honest with yourself. If somebody says, "Oh, you're fat," I know, I need to lose a couple of pounds.
Or not even agreeing, saying, says who? According
Right.
to, compared
Right.
to. You know what I mean? Like, that's your opinion. That's your
Yeah.
judgment of me. But I might like this extra little bit of,
Right.
cuddly bits.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And that's where
Yeah.
society really, well, it doesn't wreck us. We allow ourselves to be wrecked by what society expects or what people say. And that's the detriment to our health and our own self-confidence.
Yeah.
How freeing can it be to say, I really love my size?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah.
even someone that's really skinny, a woman that is really, really, really
Oh my
thin.
God. Let me tell
You know?
you, when I was growing up as a high
Mhm.
schooler, as a young kid, even in 20s, when I had my kids, I was so thin. I was
Mm.
skinny. I was ashamed that I was so skinny. I would,
Mm.
when I would go to school, I would have about 4 pants on.
Really?
I
To
would
get some.
layer. Yeah, I would
Wow.
layer. Yeah, because I was so skinny. I was skin and bones. I was so skin and bones. And then I took a look at, when I see some pictures of me, I was like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. I'm so skinny. And when I started gaining weight, I was like, oh yeah, oh yeah, I like this. You know,
Mm.
um, so yeah, I was ashamed when I was skin and bones, and I didn't like it. I didn't like how I looked. I didn't like how I felt. Yeah, that
See?
was
Interesting. Your own perception is what's going to create your reality for you.
yeah. But I did something about it.
Mm. You put some layers on.
Yes, I did. Even now, I have
Exactly.
legs.
Even though you have legs, did you say?
I said, even now, I put layers on,
I do.
not clothes. I have layers. So
Natural layers, natural
I'm
layers.
padded now. Yes.
And what
Yeah.
do the men think? This is what I want to know, because when I speak to men about how, what type of women they're attracted to, usually men say they like women with meat. They do. They say literally, I want something to hang on to. Like, I don't want to hang on to bones. So women, you know, accept your curves. Fall in love with your
Yes.
curves.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Stop listening
So,
to, certain people that say that you have to be a certain size, a certain physicality to be accepted by, other men of the
mhm.
world.
Yeah.
Because it's not true, and it's really interesting too, men will often, size will be the last thing on their list when they are looking for a woman. Like, I'll say, well, what are you after? What type of woman are you really after? And they'll say, someone who's honest and loving and caring and, a woman of God, or,
Mm-hmm.
they have all these other values. And then this physical, of course, they've got to be attracted to them. There's got to be some kind of chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not really the size. They don't go down to say, oh, they've got to be a size, 6 or a size 8 or whatever.
Right.
It's quite interesting. It's quite interesting what they actually desire and put out there. So we, as individuals, whether it be
Mm-hmm.
women in this case, because we're so driven by what the media says and the models are displaying and what's happening on the catwalk. It's not about that at all, because
Right.
they're a very small minority in the world,
Right.
as
Right.
opposed to the real people like you and I. I say the real
Right.
people that are
Mm-hmm.
living day to day and connecting, with each other.
Yeah.
Uh, we are wanting uh, the real thing, and
Right.
physicality too. It can be changed. The body can be changed. The body, it just it sits over the skeleton. And I always used to say this when I was personal training, particularly women and men, that your body is just a suit for your bones. You just dress it how you want. So you can change that shape. You can
Mm-hmm.
change your shape very easily
Yeah.
by, how you eat and exercise. So that's not what makes a person. That's only
Exactly.
the dress up of a person.
Right. Right.
But the
Exactly.
real core of a person is what's on the inside. Because
Yeah.
that too can be changed, but, that's what's going to emanate through those clothes, through that body, through that shape of that body.
Right. Right. I'm going to comment on what Ray Vaughn had just said. And it's so true. It's not going to fit all the way on there. So I'm just going to read it, on the side here. Social media is full of women who have BBLs. I don't know what that is, but and all kinds of body work done. And where do most teenagers spend their time? On social media. So that becomes the standard. So I just wanted to say, because before social media, um, I think she just responded to
Brazilian butt lift, she says, is a BBB. Oh,
yeah.
Brazilian
So
butt
before
lift.
social media, we had magazines. We had, Cosmopolitan,
Tarleton,
Vogue, all of those
Vogue.
magazines that we as teenagers looked up to. So that was our basically our social media, and that's where we thought that's um, what a good-looking woman should be, or what the standard should be. So now that it's now social media, now I mean, it's spread. It's you know wide. With the BBL. So it goes to show that there's an issue with self-image. There's an issue with um, how do you see yourself, or do you see yourself that you should look like those, women who has done some stuff to their face, to their teeth, to their breast, to their body? Is that your role model? Is that, you would have to take a look at inside. What is it about it that you're striving to be or striving to do? So, and the most alarming issue or medical um, that we have, it's not COVID. It's not, even though it's a pandemic, even though it's the most dangerous illness that we have today is mental illness,
Mm.
low self-esteem, anxiety, depression. That's the most dangerous. And to fuel it with the show, such as Kevin Samuels, it, when are we going to learn that people need to be seen, people need to be heard?
Mm.
Yeah. When are we going to learn? We had a tragic, with Texas, and it's just devastating to see the signs and not do anything. She said the comment was a little bit longer than that. Um, it's devastating. The tragic that happens in the world, it's because of mental illness, and when it's not being paid attention to, but yet being fueled by social media, being fueled by shows like Kevin Samuels, or being fueled by hate, being fueled by segregation. I don't understand. Have we not learned since? Have we not learned? Have we not learned? You know, um, yeah, it's devastating. It is devastating. So we need shows like ours, more shows like ours, that we celebrate each other, how different each other. You know, you're Australian. I love your accent. I love how you say process
And scenario.
and scenario. Yes, scenario.
You always
I
repeat that
I
scenario.
celebrate you because that's a part of your world that you're sharing with me that I should not be ridiculing you about. I should not be saying, "Oh, we say process here. Get with the program. You need to speak English." But you
Mm.
are speaking English. But that's how you say it. That's how I celebrate you. Um, it's sad. It's very sad that we just can't. I don't say we can't. I think sometimes we don't want to. We can, but we don't want to. Um,
Mm.
you know, uh, I think if we just give it a try, give it a chance. Give it a, a go. To learn about a different culture, to learn about, what makes this woman, like this. Just learn. Just let me have a conversation with you. What's going on? Kind of. Um, and I love your post. You said, "What women? What do you like on a man to wear, or what do you want men to wear?"
Mm,
And I said, "Of course, a smile." I would love
yeah, I
for a
love
man to wear a smile. So
that.
if we can think that way, instead of, well, I want him in a two-piece, whatever, and, Gucci, looking like Kevin Samuels. No. Yeah. So how about wear a smile? That is the most sexiest thing that a man could ever have.
Above everything. So he could be really wearing anything. He could be wearing that two-piece suit like Kevin Samuels, or he could be in, work boots and shorts and
Yes.
looking a little rugged, unshaven a
Yes.
little, but still got that smile.
That smile. It's
That's right.
it's the most sexiest thing.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the same with women, wear that smile, wear it proudly. Um, so yeah, um, we need more.
Albert, Kevin
Yeah,
said, I actually don't even know
the
the man. He
guy.
said, the
Yeah.
guy. Didn't hear his name until just now. Yeah, a lot of people didn't. And I'm sure a lot of people are starting to get to know him now, even after
Well,
he's dead.
Kevin. What a name. Well, Albert. um, I'm glad you didn't know him. I'm glad, because he I'm pretty sure he's a great man. Like what we were talking
Yeah,
about in a
I think
different
he is.
episode. One person's best friend is somebody else's enemy.
Yeah. Well, there was an interview with another influencer. I can't remember his name, but he was also a men's coach. And I think I sent you that video, Zanetta. Do you remember? Did you watch it? And he actually spoke about Kevin Samuels and said, I know a lot of people are bagging him and everything like that. And he goes, but I knew him on a real personal one-on-one level where they, hung out together. And he actually said where there was a time where they kind of, drifted apart because they didn't agree eye to eye. And he didn't like the way Kevin Samuels had said something to him, which he then said, as hurtful as it was, I kind of stepped back, and rather than taking it so critically like he did in the beginning, he used it as feedback because it was something to do with his business and whatever. And then they reconnected again, and they actually spoke about that event and how hurtful that was. And he said that Kevin Samuels actually said, no, I didn't mean it like that. That was not my intention. And he apologized. He actually apologized. So I think I'm just stepping back and looking at it from third person removed, that he could have just been, non-emotional, just didn't have that emotional intelligence in him to really conceptualize what he was really saying at times. Some people just have that verbal diarrhea.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, again, I'm not excusing him. It's just who they are. They just don't have that level of consciousnness to be thinking, well, what am I saying here? How hurtful is this? How would I feel if it was said to me? Or maybe he thrives on that. He loves people that talk to him that way. So therefore you don't know. But
Yeah.
this particular, I can't remember his name. I've got to look it up. But he particularly said how, he was a really nice guy deep down. And when we really got down and talked, and he took responsibility for, some of the stuff that he had said to him. Now, obviously on his show, because, some people on shows step into another character. So therefore he, his pride got in the way that he couldn't take responsibility and say, well, listen, Shirley May, whatever, Big Shirley.
Big Shirley.
I didn't mean it like that. My intention wasn't to hurt you. My intention was to blah, blah, blah. No, I think he stepped into a character. I really think he thrived on it. There was something just not right with his way of, and for him it was right. That's the thing. Who are we to say? For him, it may have been right. But he did have a very tragic death, really. Did you know how he passed?
Mm-hmm.
He did go with a bang, but
He sure did.
literally.
If I was to go, I would choose that way.
Yeah. He was
But
actually, yeah.
I'd rather be sleeping though. I don't know.
Share with the audience how we did go, because we're speaking in riddles here.
They can Google it. They can Google it.
Yeah.
Some
women actually came out and said that was his karma. He actually died that way because it was karma. I don't know.
I don't want to put it, to that extent, that it was karma. But the choices that we make, the things that we do, we never know. We never know when we're going to pass away, or whether we have an underlying condition. We don't know. So whether that's karma, I don't attribute it to that. It was just his time to go. It was his time.
Because at the end of the day, we all have to go. It's not like that we've all got karma. Like, it's a given fact that we all have
we
to.
do. It's but did he use his show as a tool to gain more endorsements? Could be. It so appears that way. It appears that way, that he used the show to gain more endorsements. He used the show to get some invites, on talk shows, on radios, on TV, talking to celebrities and different things like that. Did he use that? It appears to be. But here's a caveat to my thought on that. If you're going to be an influencer, then influence positivity. Give some answers. Give some answers to women who really are looking for Mr. Right. Give answers. Instead of pointing out the physical flaws, maybe dig in deep a little bit more to the character. It's more of the character. I don't. Maybe you should watch one of his episodes, Kevin. Then maybe we'll come back to you and see if you still still make that that assessment or that comment. You'll still stand with that comment. He found what works for him and made it work for others too. It didn't work for a whole lot of others. It did not. Whether endorse it or not, it worked. No, not necessarily. He created a controversy. That's what he created.
Mm.
That
Yeah.
was,
Maybe that's what his goal was.
yeah.
We don't know. We don't know. We can talk about it, we can discuss it, we can speculate, but
Only he himself knows. And he is survived by his daughter. He has a daughter.
he's what by his daughter? Did you say he has?
He has a daughter.
Yeah, I know. And then something came out about her saying some nasty things about him, which I don't know whether it was really her saying it all, because it wasn't a live interview. It was like her picture and a voice behind it. And she was apparently saying some very nasty things. And I'm going, oh, MG, like, wow, is it really her? Because media can do some nasty things,
You can. They can. Yeah.
say certain things that is not necessarily that person saying it. You have no control over it either.
Yeah. Yeah. So he said, if it didn't, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Well, so sometimes, we have a conversation because of something that is outrageous and it needs to be talked about. It's not because it worked, but because it needs to be discussed. Just like the outrage of what happened in Texas. It didn't work. It's not good for anybody. So, but we're gonna have that conversation. What happened to George Floyd didn't work, but we need to have a conversation. Just because we're having a conversation doesn't mean that it's working. We're having this conversation because it is not working, and we have to make that conversation so that. And the reason why is because there's a lot of hurt women, a lot of hurt women, a lot. And those women were hurt by him. That's why. And we as women, Stefania and I, we're standing tall, we're standing beside, we're standing behind, we're standing for all the women. Yes, it is. It's an opinionated conversation. Yes. And everybody has their opinion.
Yeah. And that's what I said in the beginning. There's no right or wrong. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
has their opinion and everyone's entitled to their opinion. So, it's good. And it's good that you're actually questioning this, Kevin, because I think,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
everyone's entitled to.
Yeah.
Everyone's entitled to. But I would say it would be just like this. It would be just like me on my shows starting to really emasculate men. Imagine that, where I really put men down and emasculate them in a way that just is like, oh, repulsive. I would just be, that's not my goal. That's not my aim. My aim
Mm-hmm.
is to empower men and help them overcome their trauma and have healing and a resolution.
Right.
That's just not my style, but it would be just like that, having a woman coming in and just, well, in which there are women out there. They don't need to
There,
be on video.
yeah.
They're in office work environments doing that. They're in parliament doing that. They're in on the streets doing that.
Yeah.
But having a public figure which is on a big platform like YouTube or social media like that, to be doing it in that way, yeah, it does hurt. And it would hurt a man if a woman came across and did it like that, I think. I mean, I hurt for men too, even the way Kevin Samuels spoke, because there were a lot of men out there that didn't agree with what he said. So
Yeah.
it goes either way. And as I said,
Yeah.
there isn't no right or wrong. It just is. And we need, in a way, I know this sounds a bit controversial in a way, we need people like him. We need people that are well diversified, because it does create,
A
these conversations.
conversation.
It
Yeah.
does create these conversations. As we said, there's no right or wrong. We're here to just share our opinions. And, if you're out there and you say, no, Kevin Samuels is a star, he was the best, he just did a great job, please share. Please let us know. And Zanetta will let you know.
I think everybody knows where I stand with Kevin Samuels. I think I've put my my opinion as to where I stand with his philosophy. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
me, I'm married to a high value man. I
That's
am.
right. And that's what's important. That's what's important. So I just wanted to go back to what Kevin actually did say there. He said, I won't go into what I had to go through as an abused man. And that's exactly right. You went through a lot of abuse.
Mm-hmm.
You went through a lot of abuse. And imagine a woman coming along and just out of nowhere, who doesn't even know you, and abuses you even more. How would you feel? How would you feel? You just, what right does she have to be doing that and not knowing what you've gone through? And the same thing goes with, another man abusing a woman based on what he sees, particularly on the physicality, of her,
Yeah.
or her status, of her age, and whether she's married or not married, or what job and what she's earning. It's a little unfair because you don't know what she has gone through. We don't know what
Yeah.
anyone's gone through. In this case, there's no women or men. It's just being able to, have compassion, and we've got to stop criticizing. We've got to stop ridiculing. We've got to stop, judging and assuming.
Right. Yeah. Right. I mean, if
It
you're going to
was,
have a show and you're going to be an influencer, empower them. Just like your show, you're empowering men. And that's how it's supposed to be. It's it's the right thing to do.
yeah. We've all had our fair share of trauma.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting is we are all in the same boat. What
Yeah.
is big for me, my trauma, may be small to Zanetta or anyone else. And vice versa. There's
Yeah.
no size, big or small, that's going to
Oh,
impact people differently. We
yeah.
internalize, and we are affected by trauma in just different ways, even something very, very small,
Yeah.
to someone else. So trauma
Pain
is
is
trauma, and
pain.
we've all been trauma. Pain is pain. Hurt is
Yeah.
hurt.
Yeah.
We've all had some form of trauma in one shape, size, or
Right.
form.
Right.
And we've got to respect each other. Respect. And if you don't know, just ask, is there anything I can help you with? Is there anything, there's many ways to get in and just be that supportive, compassionate person, because we
Yeah.
don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that was an interesting conversation.
Yes.
Thank you, Kevin Samuels.
Woo.
And if you have
Woo.
any
I lived through
comments,
that.
any shares, anything that you would like to, say your opinion, please do. Please
Yeah.
let us know. And we only invite you and welcome you. And yeah, we will respond.
Yes.
So thank you, Janetta. Thank you, everybody. That was Kevin Rayvon. Is it Rayvon?
Rayvon.
Teton?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Rayvon, Teton. Yes. Thank you so much.
And anyone else that's watching it on the replay, please hashtag replay, hashtag live. Yes. We're all traumatized, Kevin. Trust me. Sometimes even a dog can traumatize us. It doesn't have to be a being, human being. We
Yeah.
here in Australia, we're traumatized by spiders and snakes all the time.
Woo.
Exactly. But only out bush, not in suburbia. So, people say, "Oh, did you get those spiders at your place?" I said, "No, only if you're out in bush and, out in the wilderness, snakes and stuff." But yeah, interesting. All right. Thank you, Zanetta.
All right.
Any last
Yes.
final comments? I know you said be nice. What did you say?
I would
Empower.
have something positive to say about Kevin Samuels. Um,
Yes, let's end it on a positive for Kevy.
yeah, I mean, he did start a conversation, and he's opened up a um, a conversation that we women should see, that there are some men like that, and uh, you know, take heed. But he's an entrepreneur, so he's he's an entrepreneur, and entrepreneurs do what they um, do to in order to make the money, and he was very savvy, very savvy.
Mm.
Um, he was very intelligent. You can tell by the way he talks that he's very intelligent. So he
And articulated the way he would
very,
articulate words.
yeah, very, very,
He
and
did have he did have a bit of style to him. Come on, he did have a little bit of
oh yeah,
you know,
he has some
the way,
swagger.
he had swagger, he had sex appeal, he had charm. He
Yes, he
reeled in
did.
those women.
Yeah,
So
yeah, he did. He did. But as a person, um, he's his own, and I
yeah.
and I do respect that. I do respect that he shows himself and not fake. Um, yeah. So condolences to his family, his loved
Yes.
ones. Condolences to those that I don't want to say idolized him, but found love and found marriage through his show. You know,
Mm,
and yeah, may he rest in peace.
yes, exactly. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't think I'd have anything else to add to that, isn't it? I think you said it all. Just got to love him and meet him where he is. We're all connected. We're all one, and
Right.
if we can just see, sometimes through the eyes of compassion, and seeing people that they're just hurting, because I always say hurt people, and that's where he was. So we still send lots of love and passion to his soul, and may he rest in
Yeah.
peace. And as you
Yes.
said, condolences to his family and loved ones and everyone else.
Yeah.
But we are here next week again with
Yes.
Fun Fresh Fridays. And
Yay!
yay! And Zanetta, it's your
It's my turn to have a topic.
topic.
So I do have a topic. So we will be talking about another F word.
Oh,
Fear.
oh,
Oh.
yes. Everyone
Fear.
friend.
Why do we have fear? Why do
Mm,
we fear? Why do we have that emotion?
mm.
Hmm. Let's talk about it next Friday.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. So
Oh,
thank you once
wait,
again.
wait,
Oh,
hold up. I don't
hold on.
think,
Is it a holiday there?
no, that is correct. I won't be here.
You won't be here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll be
No problem.
flying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll make it the week after.
The week after. So you're going to take the fort?
with conversation. Okay. Can
Yeah.
do. See who wants to come on with me. Anyone would like to converse and have a conversation with me? I invite you to connect with me first. Or it's going to be me on my own.
Right.
Me, myself, and I.
And I'll join, as I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Well, thank you once again, everybody. And as always, sending you lots of love and passion. Zanetta, see you
Until next time.
week after. Bye.